Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's live stream, we're gonna have some interesting discussion about interesting things. I'm just waiting for confirmation that audio and video is working. So it's still showing waiting for us to be in or incognito window, which is odd. Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Okay, I think audio and video is working. If any of you are there available in the chat, you can just write, yes, audio video. So that will give me a perfect confirmation. Okay, I'm getting some heart symbols. So at least some people are aware. Some people, some things are working. So that's good. That's good. Okay, let's. Oh, already got a donation. Okay, that's new, especially in English channel. But let's go and see what's what. AV good sir, thank you so much. Uh, Devashish, you have donated 21 rupees. Thank you so much. And you did it from OK HDFC Bank. And remark is from S2T. Thank you for actually putting a remark. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's talk about the basically thumbnail of my live stream is that this puppy. Basically, I finally got my package from DigiKey and bad news is that I cannot even tell you guys how much X I paid compared to what I should have paid. Should have, as in like what I knew. Like when I selected basically items on DigiKey, there was a price and then there was shipping. Shipping was expensive, but to be expected given the fact that it was international item. So okay, that makes sense. It's logical. But duties and customs and all that, that was so overwhelming that I cannot even tell you. It's like imagine the best way I can describe it. It's like it became 3x the price and that's on top of shipping plus the product charge. So this is the bill that I got from it. So it has custom duties, remittances of cost, then it has IGST, reimbursement of cost, then it has SW surcharge, reimbursement of cost. Like there is freaking four reimbursement of cost, then there is penalty. Now penalty is like same way if you ever actually try to get microcontrollers like advanced IC from US suppliers, they will basically ask you, it's like, why do you need it? Because again, USA is trying to control the chip import export, so to say, so it does not end up going in Russia. Would anybody use normal microcontroller in weapon system? Yes. Like right now, Ukraine war showed that, like, there is no such thing as a commercial versus a military system. And after the boom events of basically last 2 years, people are finding that the microcontrollers, like actual normal microcontroller that is found in exploded ordnance, they are literally from normal washing machines. Like microcontroller, like again, US Army has a like a different what you call quality control on their weapon system. So all the IC that goes into it, it goes through very thorough and rigorous testing. That makes it expensive. However, you can do almost all the same thing. The only thing you will not get compared to a normal commercial semiconductor versus weapons grade semiconductor is that weapons grade semiconductor has a reliability of 99.99999, while commercial system can, again, in a heavy environment, basically like a weapon system where you have high G forces, high shock vibration and all that, so failure rate could be as low as high as 80%. So that basically makes it kind of last ditch effort. But given the fact that other than Texas Instrument or a few Western companies, there are not that many companies that can make a true weapons grade IC. So even China suffers from this. Heck, if you go into, there is an individual in YouTube, a Chinese individual, he did an amazing breakdown, like actually took the cheapest Chinese electric vehicle available. He tore down its motor controller unit. It had Texas Instrument part into it. Like you would think China would have it, like they have it, was they are still struggling to make it what you call last long enough. Meaning, can you buy MOSFET, resistor, capacitor, PCB? All that is sorted. But when it comes to actual microcontroller, it's still something that West controls. So US has this very strict policy. It's like, hey, who is buying it? Why they are buying it? I need to know, basically to keep a tabs on things. So I had an issue where they're like, dude, you cannot buy it. But then I was like, okay, I'm an individual doing this like system. They just said, okay, set it to others and individual, then they can sell you the part. Okay, cool, that was sorted. However, similar thing is applied in India. This is the frustrating part. I get it if India was like, if you're importing something from China, like I get it, like India and China does not have good relation, that's good. Why the heck India and USA has this issue? And India is like, okay, if you're buying a microcontroller, we need to know what microcontroller is. Like, okay, so how do I do that? I need to get import export code, which is a permanent code. Basically, I've already built it. That time when basically my first package was coming, I did not knew about this. So when DHL got the package basically in India, they're like, okay sir, you have to provide us the code. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So after back and forth of email support, they said like, okay, write a letter, sign the letter, and then we're gonna see whether the customs accept it or not. Custom did accept it, but they put a penalty of 1000 rupees. So with that experience, I decided I'll invest money into getting that IEC, because again, while this was extremely painful to get, like this costed let's say 3400 or something. I have the basically sale orders here. Yeah, yeah, 2500 was charged on my credit card for this. But grand total I paid 4300 rupees just on customs. So that was painful. So I did got that international import export code. That's sorted. Here's the problem. That does not solve your issue. That's just a code number. After you get the code, you have to do a registration of what exactly you are importing. Now you would think that would be automated system. They have like fancy things like data sheet. I'm like, awesome. It's like, no, you have to manually feed everything. It's like, and it's a paid system. So not only I had to pay 500 rupees, again, that's a one-time cost, so I'm not too bothered about it. But apparently, if you buy more and more things, it becomes more and more expensive. I'm like, what the hell? So I have more than enough people who are dealing with startups, who are trying to make prototype. They're saying it's nigh impossible to build any prototype in India unless you are building it from what we call generic structures. You're not gonna get anything. Like thankfully, I'm happy that PCBs is a thing that there is a company that in India that is providing a good supply and quality of it. But in terms of IC and all that, anything that is like a bit out of the ordinary, good luck finding it. Like you most likely not gonna find it. So this is a very painful realization that I had to do that. So even though it's only 2500, which is not that bad, because again, shipping charges is 1200 rupees. Again, for international shipping, that is to be expected. But like paying 4300 just, it's almost like 3x the price grand total, just so I can get it here. That's the painful part. So penalty has been after I had paid. Then there is bonded storage, distribution fee, IGST again. So it is really painful. And unfortunately, this is why I hate DigiKey personally. It's like when this item I was ordering, there was an issue. My card was not active and I did not knew that why it was not working. So I tried 3 times. It said like, okay, it's been declined. So I created a new order. Everything was fine. I ordered it. Cool. That started the shipping process. But apparently after 75 hours, 74 hours or something like that, they tried it, my credit card, even on a system that was like, okay, I already abandoned it. I did not need to close it. Like I should have closed it, and they deducted money from my credit card. I got the SMS. I went to customer support instantly. Like there was 3 minutes between the payment was deducted and I'm directly talking as like directly chatting with the customer support of DigiKey. And I was so shocked. Like they were like, we cannot do anything. I'm like, what the hell, you cannot do anything? It's like you have not physically shipped. It's like you placed the order on 25th. I'm like, no, the order was rejected. The order magically happened for some reason on 28th June, my birthday. That's my birthday gift basically. And when that happened, it was like very frustrating. It's like, dude, you cut the money right now. I am pinging you right now. Like not even 30 minutes later, 50 minutes later. It's just like right now it happened. And I was like, okay, can you please, for the love of God, cancel it? And because it's an international ship, they're like, no, we cannot do that. It's like, I was genuinely like what you call. And again, I have friends who are in abroad and they do say like in India, we have really good customer service, like be it Amazon, be it Flipkart and all that. Abroad we do not have something like that. And I was like, yeah, I got my experience. And all I asked them is like, hey, take the money, I do not worry, just do not send it to basically customs, because again, custom is the more expensive part. They're like, no, even if we cancel it, you have to pay the custom. I'm like, I got so fed up. Like I actually spent like half an hour chatting and all that. I do have all the recordings. Like genuinely, like it really made me very salty, so to say. It's like, you cut the money right now. You are making the order real right now. I'm telling you right now, do not ship it. They're like, we don't have that option. It's like, what the hell? So I have to pay double again. Now, thankfully, because again, I did have the international export code built already. So I did try to, okay, let's do this. So I figured out how to do the registration. So this time import should not have any penalty. And again, from a learning point of view, okay, I learned something. But it was very painful experience, I would say. Now, good news, I did learn a lot thing, and not to mention, it does show that if I have the money, I can get international products in 2 weeks. So that's the good part of it. Like Now I have fan controllers. IC I have not actually opened yet. I'm scared of it. So I have that IC. I think I only bought two of them, right? I will get four of it. Like it's not opened yet. Uh, do I have a scissor, high quality scissor? Let's go YOLO on it. Let's go YOLO. Eesh, I'm scared. Okay. So we have a spicy powder. Then we have humidity indicator. That is like 60%, 10% indicator. Do not put this card into bag if 60% is pink. Okay, this is the first time I'm hearing it. Any of you guys know this? Humidity card indicator? Like this is the first time I'm seeing this humidity card indicator. Hold on. Come on. I'm genuinely shocked at this. Yep. So this is the first time I'm seeing this. Do I actually have IC in this? Oh, okay. Yeah, it is a tiny IC. Damn it. It's like you need a freaking microscope to see it. Damn. I think they had to cut it out from a ribbon and all that. It's like, ooh. Yep. I'm just gonna keep it back. I'm most likely to lose it. I put a lot of it. I really need to study this. I did not know this. So that's something new. That's there. So what's the price? Yeah, the main material, the things that I'm buying, that is barely 1500 rupees. For the basically, let's do the whole math. So 4300 is penalty and customs and all that, and 1200 is the shipping. So it's around 5000. Holy damn. Almost 6000 rupees just for actually getting it here. That was painful, and I have to do it again. So I think in 2-3 days, the second package should arrive. Uh, but it is what it is. You have to either you take a lesson or you learn it. So I got this. This is the fan controller, and because again, this also I'm slowly developing. So in terms of electronic part of it, as you can see, you do need polarized connectors for this because again, while the motors, most of the fan motors are designed in such a way that if you reverse the polarity, it will not do anything. Basically, it can handle it. It's just that the tachometer signal and the pulse width modular circuitry that could get fried. Most likely, tachometer will get fried. And I have fried a Cooler Master fan where it's like I plugged it wrong and it fried the tachometer output, meaning I can no longer get a tachometer signal. I cannot read the RPM, so to say. So to make sure, that's why all the PCs have this sort of keyed, basically. Yeah, so this keyed output, this I had to buy. Unfortunately, this is my first PCB and there has to be a first PCB mistake. This was inverted, the plugs are inverted, so unfortunately I have to cut. Yeah, here it is. So this item, I have a basically support hole. Basically, you can notice there are 5 holes on this top ones. The 4 holes are the connector hole and 5th hole is the alignment pin, as we call it. Yeah, that's inverted for some reason. I do not know whether it's like fault in the software or it was like wrong footprint, but it's upside down, so to say. So yeah, if I do this, it will not work. So I have to cut that physical alignment pin and then solder it. Now, does it work? Yes, it does work. I have tested it. So that's the good news. The PCB is a minor inconvenience, not fully a write-off, but this is working. So now I will, upgrade the processing and all that. This is becoming a very messy process to actually finish this damn project. I'm not getting time and and this import is like, damn, it was expensive. So this was my first PCB. First mistake is already done. My first international import of electronic component, that is already done. So a lot of first, this when I'm 31 years old, a lot of first is happening and I'm learning a lot, painfully expensively, but I'm learning a lot. As of now, as of today, I did this jugaad as we call it in India. Basically, this is my refrigerator. So my refrigerator is an old refrigerator, does not have a VFD. Basically, it's not an inverter refrigerator. It's a normal, simple refrigerator. Efficient, but because the induction motor is directly connected to the mains, it has very serious surge. Even though it's a very small compressor, like barely, like I think 100 watt or something like that, the surge load is high. Now, again, thankfully, my inverter can handle it. My solar inverter can handle it. It does put enough of a surge that I can detect it. Like there will be a bit of dip. So I thought of putting NTC, negative temperature coefficient thermoristors. So basically, they would be like 10 ohms. When you are not doing anything, they will be 10 ohms. And the moment energy goes through it, it will basically act like a 10 ohm resistor. And then once the current starts to flow, normally it starts to heat up, the resistance will go to almost less than 1 ohm. Basically, it will become a conductor at that point in time. So that's supposed to help tame the what we call the surge current. That's a one option. Like you can have a soft starter, but you can have this if you want a passive solution. It's a normal thing, people do it, but I think I did it, well, like physically done it, and everything is working. It's just I don't think I had put enough oomph there. Maybe I needed more than 10 ohms. I maybe needed 20 ohms or something like that. So I'm planning to basically add one more in series. So thankfully I figured out how the wiring works in my refrigerator. That was not that difficult. So I will put two of them in series, because again, if I can get that scenario where like my compressor starts on but it does not have that surge, it will be nice. Because solar inverter is almost like a double conversion UPS, meaning it only works from DC bus. So it converts AC mains that is coming to DC, solar panel that is coming to DC, battery that is to DC. So it has a DC pipe, then it makes a pure sine wave out of it, and then we get all the power. But that means any contamination, like that surge that happens from the refrigerator, does affect everything else. So that's why I do want a scenario where I can tame that surge. That will make my life. Again, it's not a hassle or hazard, but I think it could shorten the life of the basically what we call solar inverter. So it would be a wise thing to basically tame it before it gets out of hand. Again, a lot of new learning experience. Price, I have already talked about it. Hi, hello to you. What's let it rot movement in China? Let it rot movement in China is that you have to understand China has two phase. One is their truth phase, that only the people living in China knows this, specifically basically anybody who's below around middle class. Like unless you are in the elite, everybody else has that phase, and they are struggling with a reality where China is lost. Basically it's lost to a point, because if you paid attention to last few years, specifically with their what we call housing system, you must have noticed that's stupid. It's like you cannot have apartments that are costing millions of dollars. Why? Who is buying it? Nobody was buying it. It was all speculative asset, and that created a bubble, like a very, very, very bad bubble. And while the bubble did burst, now again, worldwide is okay because government is bailing out, but government is bailing out the corporations. They are not bailing out the citizen. So way too many people lost their life saving. They have a loan that they have to pay, and there is not enough homes for it. Meaning they are broke before they even got the product. And this is just one element. There are many other elements of Chinese community that is like flat out hopeless. Like you cannot fight and win against this, like flat out. And when banks are putting what you call restraint, meaning you cannot even take the money out, because again, all the banks are broke. So all these things are creating a scenario where they realize, like people, young people specifically, basically from 15 years old to 25 years old, they are realizing that they are lost, meaning genuinely they cannot do anything. So that created a basically a let it rot movement, where they're like, okay, this country has already failed me, this is gonna destroy me. And at that point in time, they're like, okay, why should I work my ass off just so I can die? So their idea is let it rot, meaning do the bare minimum just to survive, meaning do not even try to thrive and become all that, because you're not gonna succeed. They realized that, like, imagine it this way, like a middle class family, they are working their ass off and they put a lot of savings down, took a big ass loan, and now the house is like, lol, what house? Like, sir, would at least cancel the loan. It's like, lol, no. So if enough of these sort of flat out pissing on your face happens, people lose faith, and young people are losing faith. They're like, dude, there is no point of marriage, because again, marriage loss. So they're like, okay, the marriage does not last. Our parents are miserable, and elder people are getting the short end of the stick, because CCP did that. The idea was they took the younglings from basically village population to the cities, and they were said like, we'll take care of the elderly. Now they did do that in the early phase, but now they are not doing that. So even that part was like, lol. And ironically, this what you call pandemic kind of helped them, because it poofed way too many old people. So they're like, whoa, that was becoming a problem. So enough bad things were becoming obvious to younglings where it's like, dude, there is no point. They're like, mathematically speaking, there is no point for them, and all the economics is just collapsing. And because of this China US war, basically the trade war, the trade is no longer there. Like Foxconn is actually living, and you can see Shinkansen, like they used to have boatload of factories. The numbers are shrinking. They like all the shipping terminals, they used to have like GG amounts of trade. It's going down year by year, is going down. So they have realized every like early on, like from 15 to 25 years old, there is no point left anymore. So let it rot movement is like, accept it and just let the CCP die. Because how could CCP die from this hairstyle? Dictatorship can only work if there is slaves. If you do not have the slaves, they're basically accepting death, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna take down with you, take you down. So that's what is happening. Which type of questions do you like? Any questions that have actual thoughts put into it, meaning I made the recent video about the ethics part too, and that's the whole point of patience. It's like never ever let your first thought come out, right? So if you are talking or thinking about anything, if you put some thought into it, it's genuinely exponentially better than your first thought. Now of course you could still be a scenario where it's like you do not have enough data to actually cook your ideas, but that's a very good start. And I can tell, generally I can tell, like if you just like bleh, or it's like, okay, let me cook it, let me think about it, and if I get that's very encouraging to me, because like, okay, you are serious about this. So that's what I generally seek. What do you mean by Indians don't have ball? Meaning new things, meaning ball? I'm just confused. Balls, as in like the courage to do deal with the unknown. Meaning we do not have the balls to fail. We always want to succeed. As like it's like we cannot afford the idea. Like psychologically speaking, it's like let's take ISRO as an example. ISRO did build a small engine. Okay, now you would think, right? Any government agency that's like, okay, we have to build this, and we built it. You would think they will build a next bigger, better one, but it's like it's a flagship project. Again, GSLV Mark III. They're like, no, no, no. Let's buy a Soviet Union's engine, SCE 200, and it's because it's an outdated engine before it's built. They have to redo so much of it, and again, even if you redesign all that, outcome is still a steam engine. So they are like. Let's build it. We spent 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. That's how much time we have spent on it, and we still have outdated idea. That's what I mean when Indians do not have balls. Basically, we do not have the guts where it's like, okay, we're gonna build it and it's gonna fail. Like you have to understand. That's why I keep saying in all of my videos, it's like Mark 1 is always garbage. You have to have the balls to go through Mark 1. Like compare this to, let's say, Soviet Union's AK-47 versus American M4 series. Now M4 series, when they went to Vietnam, it was garbage. It was useless. It was like jamming, failing. It was not working. Now again, if India was in that scenario, India built a firearm and it was like not acting properly, India would be like, okay, let's buy from Russia, which we did. Now compare that to American attitude. American attitude was, okay, it's not working, let's try our best to fix it. They figured out maintenance regime that allowed the crappy weapons to work as good as it could do. Then they had people working on the back end to refine it, brick by brick, day by day, day by day. So the M4 that was on the early days, like in the starting of Vietnam system, it was lol. And M4s that they have right now, it's like, this is my darling. If you ever have issues with my country, this darling will say I love you to you. It's like genuinely, it's like mind boggling. And it's not even something they talk about it, but it allowed them to develop the pipeline. And again, they call their weapon a system. What does that mean? That simply means the same weapon that is mass produced for army, they can give it to SWAT team. Now SWAT team requires a very low penetrating power, because again, SWAT team is supposed to be utilized in civilian environment, and because their houses are not built out of concrete, if you have a rifle bullet, it can go through multiple houses. So what they do, same weapon, they just yeet the long rifle barrel and put a carbine barrel, which is basically almost 30% shorter. So this shorter barrel, again, it makes a lot of sound, which again desirable for civilian application, because you do want people to run away from the place where you're making a lot of noise, and the penetration power goes down. So again, carbine. And again, all other things like accessories, mounting rails, all that issue, because they had garbage product, they kept working at it. They created a whole weapons, what you call a weapons complex for it. So, and compare that to Russian system. AK-47 literally looks exactly the same as it was in World War II. And you're like, it's a good design. Yeah, it was. Not anymore. You cannot attach to it. You cannot expand it. And again, they did try to build newer variants of it. AK-47, AK-74, I think. That's what they called the newer variants. But that's the whole point. Huh. Okay, so can only rich people can reach the peak in of Maslow's pyramid? Not necessarily, but again, poor people cannot reach it. Because again, you do need in Maslow's pyramid of need, you do need to have, like, basic things sorted. Like, you have to have a place to stay, you have to have a good clothes and all. Good clothes as in like clean clothes, as in like fresh, not torn clothes. So you do need some money, but you do not need a lot of it. Like, you do not need to be bonkersly high. Like, anyone in middle class where it's like okay and sorted, they can reach a, like, higher level of Maslow's pyramid of need. And Maslow's pyramid of need is more of a generational thing, meaning if you have a good relationship with your mom and dad, and like family structure is intact, that allows you to survive much more. So you can easily see families that are like 6 7 generations strong, meaning they have a lineage. It's not forgotten, not like property deals and all that. Like, it's a proper lineage. You will find those people to be far more robust. The reason is because their pyramid is far more stable, so to say. Future of AI in graphics design, that would be a very interesting thing to see. Although recently I tried to make basically ChatGPT to make a thumbnail for me, and I'm noticing that it does not know what it's creating. It's not creating things in layers. So I think some other company can, and that's what I thought, like, even in my video about AI, that we need to make dedicated AI agents for dedicated things. So I could see a lot of potential, so that's there. But so it needs more time to be cooked. But be mindful, 2 years ago nobody would have believed it. Now we are here. Oh, somebody donated in English channel. That's for first time. Okay. M-A-H Mahesh Kumar. Mahesh Kumar, you have donated 50 rupees. Thank you so much. You donated it from OK HDFC, and the remark is UPI. Come on, man. Put some remarks there. That will make my life easier. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. What is the true cost of hydropower? There is no cost. Like, you die at the other end. It's like, it's a short-term thing. You build a dam, you get some power out of it, and then the river dries out, and voila, you have no power. Ask China. China is going through that phase right now. And again, as global warming happens, temperature rises by 1 or 2 degrees. Yeah, all the investment we did in hydropower, it will come back to bite us badly. I have already made a video on basically how to stop India from overheating. Again, some things that we can do as of now. But dams is something that it's almost like we decided, here's a natural glacier. We drink, it takes up all the salts and it gets out through the pee. That's the natural cycle. Basically, you have glacier, fresh water, and by the time it reaches to the sea, it's salty water. So that was the natural cycle, and we actually thought we can stop it and it will not have penalty. Like, no, imagine doing the same thing with this water that you are drinking. Every doctor will tell you, bro, you're gonna die. And again, that's what we did to all our rivers. Like, we are like, what if we build fish ladder? What if you don't build the goddamn dam? And be mindful, another aspect of dams is, like, dams are not that powerful. Like, look at all the solar farms, their output and their ROI, specifically their ROI, return on investment. It's not even comparable, so to say. The amount of damage we do for hydro dams and the little amount of power it gives, like, for the cost, it's like, it's almost like nuclear. Actually, worse than nuclear, because at least nuclear is contained. This is like, it's like, yeah, we're gonna starve people. Because again, without water, how would you do irrigation? Without groundwater, how would you do all other things? Without fishery in oceans and rivers and all that, how would your water would be treated? Now you have to spend boatload of money on treating sewage water. So all those things play into basically, we thought it was a good idea. We built it, and reality is telling us that was the worst idea we could have had. So I do find that ironic, so to say. What is the true cost of hydropower? Did you consider Mexico a failed state? No, I have not seen anything like that yet. Again, I'm not that aware of it. And there are true failed state as of now, so I don't think Mexico is in the same level. Next time, try Lion circuit for components. No, components, again, if I did a bulk order, then it would have worked. But like, again, that's how you learn. Right now, it's very easy for you to say that, oh, you should have done that. But how would I know? And again, sometimes I would require a point where there's like, oh, I need to get it from, like, first party sources. How would I do that? So it's one of those things. It's like, after messing up, everybody's like, yeah, that's how you should have done. Like, that's how you do. Like, hindsight is 2020. So I am planning to install 2 PC fans that are run depending on the compressor's temperature. Yeah, that's a good idea. If you can cool the compressor, not only it will increase the lifespan of the actual induction motor inside, but it will also help the refrigerant cool a bit more efficiently. Bit more, not too much, but it will better than nothing. Let's just put it that way. Better than nothing. I have planned to install 2 PC fans. Okay. If you say AI will give an alternative to marriage, man, same for women. No. Why not? Well, here's the deal. Men are the one who pays. So from our point of view, we are paying for wife or we are paying for AI agent. From women's point of view, while they can do it, they hate doing it. So yeah, it's not the same. It can be done. Let that be very clear. Most likely they have to do it, but again, they're gonna be very miserable about it, and you can pay attention to it. No? Like right now, how we have all the talk shows where it's like same feminists, it's like we are strong, independent women who need no man. It's like where are all the good men? It's like basically what they are saying is like nobody is paying for us. So we are used to paying, right? We are used to paying. We are used to working our ass off to pay for someone else. We are okay with that. We are like, that's our DNA. We're like, we got this. That's what social selection have done that. So it's for us, it's very easy. For them, it's like, it's not impossible. Let that be very clear. There is nothing physically there. It's like, oh, you cannot do that. They can do it. It's just they're going to be very miserable if they have to do it. You need proof of this. Look into all the men who decided to be stay-at-home fathers. Outcome was horrendous. So it's like that. Okay. Do you use AI to dub Hindi videos to English? If not, why? I know how to use Hindi and English. Why would I use AI? And be mindful, my channel is 6 years old. There was no AI 6 years ago. So, and even right now, it's horrendous. Especially any language other than English is just not that good. So, it's not even worth a trying. Using W1209 thermostat. Are you telling or asking? I'm not sure. Provide more context to that. Hello, sir. I have recently sent my project on Discord. Please share your views on the idea. Okay. Let's open the Discord. Let's see. In India, in India, youth can't afford house. We will also same conditions as China. We are bit far away. Bit far. Like China is like gone. Like basically, gone point is when younglings actually realize that there is no hope. We have not reached there yet. Not yet. At least I hope. Again, it's not my what you call. I'm not responsible for this. Hey, you have shared the project where? I have DIY and yeah, if you make a system B40, damn, you have very long name. Please share it in do it yourself tag. I'm there. I will watch it. If you can do that, I'll give you feedback if you seek it. India youth kind of okay that part. Everyone talks about UBI, be the result of journalists, but it will increase inequality in long term. See, there is no solution. This is AI as a like if you really think it through, AI actually unlocked something that we have never thought of. Like there is no scenario where it's like we know what we can do with it, you know? A lot of controversy. I can say I'm looking at call for please share what are use. Okay. So fundamentally we have no control. Like we worked so hard to actually make silicon do our work. It's like we never thought that we'll actually succeed. It's like, oh, now you succeed. It's the same thing. Like if you look Endgame, and when Thanos just goes fachang on, basically Thor goes fachang on Thanos' head, he's not felt any like sense of peace or something like that. It's just same point. It's AI is like that. We were working so hard to make AI, we never thought it like what if we can actually make it? It's like what will happen afterward? And like because again, capitalism is a system. But again, it's a natural system. It will go to absolute cruelty like nature. We need to have some restraint on it. That restraint had already failed. So in that ecosystem where you do not have good restraints on capitalist system, and it's just like free for stupidity. Free for stupidity simply means it's like things that they are doing is very short term. Very, very short term. Why it's so short term? Again, family unit has collapsed. So people no longer even think about like old people have actually known they are doing things that they know for a fact that will destroy the youth, but they do not care. Again, they do not have any lineage. So I do understand that point. So they're like, okay, me and mine, and it's like, sorry, voice changed. Some things. Okay, microphone. Okay, I hope the audio went back to voice change. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Audio changed. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that AI part is like we never thought that we will actually succeed, and now we are succeeding. Is like, oh, like it's like it's almost like building dams, and then like, oh, we destroyed so much for so little. Is something like that. Sir, I'm a developer, and the AI code suggestion is so advanced that it's not just suggesting I want to do. I want to give new ideas. I was shocked by this. Again, it is again AI is dumb right now, but be mindful. This dumb is already better than majority of humans. Majority of humans cannot do what AI can do right now. in terms of like coding, in terms of writing, in terms of speaking right now. And people are, oh, but it can't beat the best. Can you beat the best? Like it would be like I'm running a YouTube channel, then it's like, can I beat Mr. Beast? No. So that's the whole point. We really are reaching a point. Again, even this whole project, I do not know how to code, but I did build it. How? Because again, AI is helping me. ChatGPT is helping with the coding and all that. So do you think Russia will disintegrate? Yeah, it's already done. It's already done. It's literally they're walking the same path that North Korea did. Basically, if you go back to the partition point, North Korea was far ahead, like genuinely far ahead. It was like the crown jewel of to say. And the reason why it was crown jewel, even though it had dictatorship, it's simply because it had two people paying for it. So it had Soviet Union paying for it, and it had China paying for it, because they wanted to stop the influence of the quote unquote West. So South Korea got the wisdom, politics of the West, while money was spent on to China, from China and Soviet Union. While Soviet Union did collapse, the money train stopped, and the moment money train stopped, they degraded. So now they are a prison country. So prison country meaning you cannot leave. If you are born there, you are basically effed. For lack of a better term, you are effed. So again, it did not happen on day one. Same thing is happening with Russia. Russia destroyed itself after basically Soviet Union. There was a lot of uncertainty. It collapsed their population. That time it collapsed it. Be mindful. Collapsing simply means going below 2.1. If you are below 2.1 and it does not bounce back very quickly, you will not have time to make it bounce back, because it's a slow thing. We humans are really horrible at understanding it. Even though Japan knew it, they did not act as like, who cares? It will bounce back. And now they're like, hey, it's not bouncing back. Yeah, you did, bruh. You died. You died. It's not gonna you gonna die. It's like you died long ago. It's like it takes 90 years for death to catch up, but when it does, there is no control Z. You had control Z at like first 30 years phase, you lost it. So same with South Korea. Same with Russia. Russia had like very serious population decline after what you call this. Basically, the Afghan war was like very brutal, very bloody. Like they lost more soldiers than what America did in 20 years, like exponentially more. They were like bleeding soldiers like they were no tomorrow, and they did not care. Again, dictators do not care. But consequence was people lost hope, people lost faith, and the population, like literally, the line is like twing, decline. It never bounced back. And after that, Putin is like, what if we had more wars? Oh yeah, I want Chechnya because mine's bigger than yours. Again, Chechnya took way too much blood, way too much. 8 years of bloodbath. Again, you are only, there is so many men you can poof before you run out of men. They did that. That again declined it. Russia is the only country that I know of that has like full-fledged female overpopulation in every age group. It's not like, you have more female in the elder group. No, 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 no. Every age group has female surplus by 1 to 5%. Every age group. So they slaughtered a lot of men there. Again, they're like, we won. It's like, dude, for the price you paid, you got a debt that you cannot fix. Again, that declined the population. And now the current war, if the mathematics to be true, they have lost 500,000 soldiers. That number will hurt India. We have billion plus people. That will hurt us. That level of pain, if you inflict on Russia, its future is pre-sold. It's like, bro, done. Like done. Exactly how North Korea went there. So that's why I'm saying this Russia part is pre-sorted. It's just like how the path, the mathematics, all that, that's the interesting part. The result is already sorted. Okay, so that was it. Are you aware of drug violence in Mexico? Mexico cartels are brutal than any terrorist. No, no, don't ever say that. Don't ever say that. It's one of those things. If you say this is the worst, nature is like, bruh, hold my beer. I'll show you even more. So don't say that. And see, that's why I said like I have a very clear policy. Let adults do what they want to do. It's like, do you want to ban something? I have one simple question for that. Does it affect someone else involuntarily? For example, smoking, should it be banned? No. Should we ban in public place? Yes. Why? Because let's say I'm going to a bus stand. I'm not signing up to like, get secondhand smoking. So I get that. If you have that sort of law, makes sense. When you're talking about drugs, it's so stupid, it's so retarded. It's like, oh, you are doing something to yourself so you can feel high, and government is like, mine's bigger than mine, and I'm gonna destroy you. It's like, who gave you that authority? And you're like, no, it's bad thing. Again, who gave you that authority? When did government become God? Like that genuinely boils my blood. It's like, I do not drink. But do I stop people from drinking? No, I do not care. It's like, do whatever you want to do. But I do stop people from drinking and driving. Let me be very clear. It's like, as long as it's not affecting me, if you can do this to yourself in your own home, in your own bubble, so to say, Who cares? Go YOLO on it. It's like, go YOLO on it. Like, people do marriage. Marriage leads to the highest suicide rate in male. We do stop it? No. But who cares? It's like, you are an adult, you can make a decision, good or bad. That's the whole point of adulthood. Like, this nanny state philosophy, that's causing so much blood violence. Like, here's the deal. If government actually made all the, what you call, drugs and all that legal, it will become boring. Nobody will do that. It will become boring. Like, should there be quality control? Absolutely. It should be quality control like any other drug or any other food item. It's like, hey, don't put mercury in it. So you get that point. That's why, like, I fundamentally hate all the governments. It's like, we have to decide. It's like, you are destroying people's life because they have milligrams of a substance. They have not killed anyone. They have not destroyed anyone else. It's like, oh, they are selling something that could destroy. It's like, who gave you that authority? Sugar does that. Sugar actually kills people. Diabetes has death rate that is so scary, we do not even talk about it. But we are okay with it. Why? Adult. It's like, that's where I come from. It's like, do not make a government into nanny state. That's where I come from. Like, again, no drinking and driving, no high and flying. Again, I get all of that. But if you're like, oh, you cannot do that in your own home, it's like, no, 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 no. Huh. What are your views on using radiant cooling and heating resident for home use? Do you have any problems long term? No. No, that's the only tool we have as of now as Indians we can deploy to keep our situation in check. My video about that is coming soon. When we can expect any space colony, even if a moon will happen in lifetime? I'm 14 now. Yeah, most likely lunar colony should be a thing. Lunar colony should be a thing. You should. Mars, I don't know. Best case scenario I can see in Mars is like you do a tweet bounce back, but moon you should see, you should live long enough to see it. What will be the energy source of future moon colony? Again, solar would be a very good start, and then you have nuclear. Those are two options that can work there. Do you practice meditation? Sometimes. Can we when can the population collapse will happen in India and all states? How will it will affect women, children? Please kindly tell. Again, population collapse, in our case, it will not mean collapse as in like poof. It will simply means we are all converted into Sharia law, basically like Afghanistan. So that will be the outcome of it. So basically, every woman that is enjoying the free labor that they are getting from basically family court, that's how it pays off. Like, once enough men are slaughtered, you do not have any defense. You do not have any guard. It's like people don't even know that Iran's actual religion was something else. It's not what it is right now. And that happened in modern times after World War II. So the same thing will happen. Again, same thing has already started to happen in Japan. That's why I said, when you're talking about, like, slaughtering boatload of men, there is a consequence. There are other group of men, they are like, free menu. We're gonna have free menu. So enjoy the peace while it lasts. Again, it's not going to happen quickly, so that's the good news. It takes generally 3 generations. Basically, in Japan they have this mathematics known as 4-2-1. Basically, mom and dad, they're supposed to make two kids, but if they only make one, so mom and dad, they made one boy, one girl. Okay, so 4-2, now 2-1. That one now has to pay for all of this. Now again, you can be like, okay, what if we poof the elderly people? Think about it, if what you're thinking about. Okay, let's say even if you put it, you still have to inverted pyramid. You cannot support this. So again, Japan, South Korea, Italy, whole of Europe, whole of America. Now, America does not have to worry about it simply because they are the best place in planet Earth for some reason. And what does that mean? That simply means so much passport is going there that they do not have to worry about it. They are not seeing the bad effect of it. Meaning, and the small countries that you may not think about, they are dying because of it. Specifically, Nepal. A lot of people are being drained from Nepal, and they are reaching what we call involuntary childlessness. Meaning, even though young couples are there, they're getting married because of the husband being like, far away in Dubai doing work. They're barely able to make even one kid. And age goes by, and they're like, poof, no child. So it's one of those things. It will eventually reach to a point where we'll have Sharia law on all the planet, because again, whoever have the family court, they die. It's like, it's a simple mathematics. Like, you build a dam, you die. It's the same thing. You build a family court, and where it's like victimhood equals payment equals death. So people are they are like the first 2 stages they have done, like, victimhood equals payment. Okay, there is something else after that. It's like, no, it's like victim equal payment equal good. It's like death is after that. But again, I'm sorted of that. I think the father factor is really a thing, because I'm the girl myself living with my single mother. Father factor. See, father's role is bit more than finance only. Like we think like father provides money. It's like that's how males have been degraded to a point where it's like, oh, that's why women do not think about it. It's like, oh, I'm just taking the money. Who cares? Because again, they think husbands are just ATMs. It's like men are very good at their ethics. Like good. Like my hat goes off to them. Again, not me, but like I'm saying, men have like very serious, very robust, what you call ethics score, and that ethics scores allow you to endure hell of life. Life is suffering, let that be very clear. Every religion will tell you the same thing, every culture will tell you the same thing. Life is suffering. The only thing you can do is figure out a reason for that suffering. Now what happened is that somebody somehow convinced women that they should not suffer, and I'm like, only death can grant you that wish. Anything else will only grant you delayed suffering at best. So when women are like, yes, OnlyFans, boatload of money, it's like, you do realize you do age. Like, it's one of those things. And again, women did that. Think about it. Like, let it simmer in your head that even a porn star, like I talked about the last video, there is a porn star who made an interview, honest interview. Like she started like, hi and all that. It's like, and then it's like slowly started to real truth come out. And it's like, yeah, my mom did not stop it. Again, divorced. So my mom did not encourage me, but my father was trying to stop me. And then she started to cry. It's like, oh, my father actually loved me. It's like, that's the whole point. Fathers are responsible for that sort of disc break. Where it's like, again, majority fathers are awesome, good. Some are bad, because some are bad is so shocking to us that it becomes a news item. And it's like, if you keep focusing on that, if every TV show that you show is like men equal bad, it destroys, basically you are destroying the cell of a country. It will only lead to bad things. It's like, it's a known thing. It's like, oh, you destroyed the family unit, now you die. It's like, so that's why. What's your new future plan to run the channel? Getting a basically smart interactive board. I can only imagine how bad it was for fatherless boys. I think Gen Alpha will experience it more. Again, it's not my circus, not my what you call monkey, so to say. It's like, you reap what you sow. We were cowardly. We did not bitch slap basically when we should have. Again, that's another cowardice. Like again, there is a point where it's like you have to discipline your child before it becomes rotten. But again, Russia has male population surplus in the age group of 0 to 30. Yeah, most likely there is something missing in that. Most likely something 0 to 30. Yeah, yeah. Most likely something is wrong in that data set. Like literally wrong in that data set. Most likely something is wrong. Please explain in short relation of capacitor VFD. It will help in power factor. Capacitor is not responsible for power factor in induction motor. If it is a run capacitor, then it may be a different thing. But please study what it is. Like not basically, if you have a starting capacitor, that's different. Basically, it creates what we call phase offset. It starts the starter coil, and after you have enough RPM, the centrifugal switch disconnects it. So that is off. So that has no effect on the power factor. And again, VFD is a complete circuit where it does everything. It basically takes the AC, makes it into DC, and then slowly chops it up and gives the power. So that gives it soft start. It also gives it RPM control. It also allows to power factor correct it. So that's the perfect tool, but it's a complete system. It's almost like AC to DC, DC to AC again. It's a complete ecosystem. VFDs are very complex. Sure, America won't face population curve because of immigration, but the demographic will be completely changed and it will cause tension between different races. You can't complain about it once you are not there, na? If think in this way, like if all the Americans, right, they are not having kids and everybody is coming from abroad and all that, it's like, who would be there to complain about it? Who would be there to complain about it? It's like, think, if you think in short term, you can see people fighting. Think in 90 years, who would be there? No one. Like this has happened. Let that be very clear. This has happened. It's not a new thing. Again, a new thing is the first time human went this stupid on such a large data set. But I have sent it do it yourself Discord. Okay, let me look into it. Okay, we go to group, do it yourself. Okay. Hello, sir. I'm like, okay, making project. Please show up here. It's regarding a robot for agriculture. Okay, you are making a robot for agriculture. Okay, that's interesting. Agriculture. It's called cable driven parallel robot. It's like a Skycam, which you can see in the cricket stadium, only on Unity engine. Okay, so you have that, and it's made a small scale model. Okay, cool, cool. We are testing the kinematics of what I read as agriculture training like drones, and addition using sowing seed. It can also use small proportion of plants and pick them place belongs as like See, I see what you're trying to do, but it's from an engineering point of view awesome. Like if you actually crack this, like actually make it, you will know a lot more about kinematics, you will learn a lot of things. But in terms of actual tool that will affect India, I do not see the potential, simply because as of India, we have to use people. Okay, we have to use people. And when you are talking about zero till farming, that reduces the need for physical labor, like physical grinding and all that. So, and again, you cannot replace humans with automation, because again, people are cheaper right now. So if people are not there, that's something different. Basically, in case of India's population center, basically MP, UP, Bihar, and Jharkhand, it simply results to because every Tom, Dick, and Harry is working on getting government job. So it's a supply demand kind of thing. But it's a very good tool. Like in terms of learning, you will learn a lot. But in terms of like actually affecting the farming, I don't see that much. But again, I could be wrong. But from an engineering point of view, this is a good thing that you're trying to do. Like this sort of kinematics is complex. Like you will learn a lot about kinematics. I can guarantee you that. You will learn a lot about kinematics. Okay, I can only imagine the battles like okay, Russian mass means out of okay, VFD. Sure, okay, I have sent you the file. Okay, smart board means just a digital board teacher. It's like it means you are becoming next generation teacher for TikTok generation. Yeah, I see HD. Because I've been running this channel for so long, like 6 years ish. The first batch of my students have already gone down. Like again, there is a very strong divide between pre-TikTok and after TikTok. After TikTok, people's attention span is like tanked. Like it's bad. That's how bad it has become. It's like whoa. Like I'm getting like I'm not joking. There was one short video where people complained. It's like you could have just typed it. I'm like, so it's one of those. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Like kinematics wise, like in terms of kinematics, like, hey, I know kinematics. If you show this project to any, further employer or any company, they're like, dang, kinematics wise. But in terms of farming, and I think you did not put materials on that wheel in Unity, so it has that default pink, bright pink texture. But yeah, it's a cool kinematics project. In terms of kinematics, it's really good. Really good, really good. Yeah. Oh, another thing. I just activated my basically Amazon what you call affiliate program. So I'm trying to learn it, understand it, what the hell it means. Because again, the YouTube part is like, ooh, very light. And again, I was emotionally scarred when the last time I tried it and they blocked it. Like again, I did work for like I think 7-8 months, and then they are like, okay, you have violated the policy. I'm like, what policy? What can I do? No, it's like yeet. They're not like YouTube where you can have a back and forth. There is no appeal. They're just like poofed it. So I was emotionally scarred from it, but for some reason one thing led to another. I randomly realized Google warned me, "Hey, you have an unused email account." Then I was like, okay. And I was like, then I started it. So the big thing that I'm planning to do is basically upgraded version of this. This is what we call ferrule crimpers, kind of necessary tool if you want your electronics, electrical, basically this sort of plugs and all that to last longer. So most of the times you will get crimpers that are like very low capacity. That would be like from 0.25 to 6 mm. This puppy is a better one, that is from 0.25 to 10 square mm. So this puppy can handle some big cable. And the one that I bought is the highest that is possible. That is from same 0.25 to 16 mm. So, and you were like, what about higher cable than that? If you are using thicker cable than 16 square mm copper conductors, you need hydraulic crimpers after that. So I will make a dedicated video on that. I'm quite excited. It should have arrived today also, but I think it may arrive tomorrow or something like that. But let's see. And this week will be kind of emotionally charged because I have to deal with what you call mediation again on 10th. This import broke me, man. And this fuel cost that I have to pay for it, it was like, it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing. Oh, another news about my RAM. I did pay a security deposit. They air shipped the RAM to me, and again, it came only in 2-3 days. So my computer now is back and running. Now I'm crossing my fingers. They receive my RAM, and then I get my security deposit back. But it was interesting. At least as of now, I am back to 32 gigabytes of RAM, and holy damn, Google Chrome consumes RAM like there is no tomorrow. Like I'm using primarily Chrome, and Chrome is consuming so much RAM. Like I was getting stuttering. I was shocked. I was getting stuttering on like all these things. It's like The amount of RAM taken is like, oof. Yes, I have got job offer from Tata and Mahindra after seeing my project. Yeah, it's like I did tell you, like if you can actually build this, like physically build this, anybody who knows anything about kinematics are like, bro, sign this guy up. Like even this guy does not know how to do anything, he will sort it out. Like that's a big flex. Like you have a big flex. So in terms of agricultural use, I do not see that much potential. Again, I could be wrong, but in terms of like actual learning tool, this is a, you could have not chosen a better project. It's like, hey, I'm a kinematic guy. This is my project. Awesome. Heck, if it's a big enough, you can even make it into pick and place machine. Go lol on it. Yeah, you can make that. Again, I don't think it would be that precise, but huh, hey, you can make it into a 3D printing for homes. Place the bricks. You can do things. I think you can do things more likely to do successful things in the that department. But again, right now I think you are on a small scale testing, so do figure out the kinematics part. Yes, I have. Okay, technical Prashant, you have retracted your message, so I cannot figure out what you actually were trying to say. Um, so in terms of my refrigerator, now my job is to basically add another NTC in series. Hopefully that will reduce the what you call tame the inrush current. I'm like kind of disappointed. It should have tamed it, but again, you live and learn. You try again, but it's a very difficult thing to do. It's supposed to heat up. That's why you have to keep it not touching anything else. And that place does have water falling from the defrost cycle and all that. So it's kind of tedious thing to figure out, but it will be worth it. Bajaj World is building world's first CNG bike. Yeah, it's a very big news at this point in time, and we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. Are there any potential downside? Yes, explosion hazard. Because again, it will not burn if it was into a crash. It will go kaboom, especially if the tanks is partially empty. Be mindful, this is one common misconception here. If a full tank is actually safer compared to an empty tank. So if you have an empty tank, there is a very good chance that you can reach what we call stoichiometric ratio, meaning exactly the right amount of oxygen with exactly the right amount of propellant or fuel. In those sort of scenario, it goes boom. If you have too much fuel, you have fire. So whenever like it's you can see that in rail tanker cars, like rail tanker derails, it's a big fire, firefighters are fighting, but it will burn for 3 to 4 hours. As if they can put it out, awesome. If they cannot put it out, they will start to back away because they know if once it starts to drain, it's starting to reach that point where like you just have right amount of air and right amount of fuel. The moment that happens, it goes boom. So that's one of those things. There is a research paper regarding 3D printing of houses. There are many research paper, not one, many. No, I'm saying you have a different system. There are companies who are using robotic arms and all that. You have the advantage that, in principle, your system would be just poles. You will have 4 poles and you can move things around. So that's the benefit, like in terms of footprint, basically in terms of how much shipping you need to do, like in terms of your machine. So cables are kind of easy to pack. If your end effector is not too clunky or too bulky, I can see it being a useful thing. How can youth get power from old people? Is it possible? Or again, retirement supposed to be there. Retirement supposed to be that natural filter, so to say. It's like, hey, 0 to 30, you are a child. 30 to 60, you are adult. 60 to 90, you are old. Like, let the steering wheel go. But looking at Joe Biden's performance in his recent election word is like, whew, it was bad. I'm like, even Trump was like, I have no idea what the heck he's saying, man. It's like, it's like so. I'm like, that's why I want Trump. It's like, at least someone should be there that can talk. It's like, if you're gonna destroy me, at least have the balls to say it. It's like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's so what you call tragic. It's like, that's why it's like, if it hurts to see, it's like humanity has known that we cannot have first passed the poll election for 200 years, more than 200 years, and we have never implemented it. That's the truly sad part. It's like that's another again. When I made the series about like how to tackling global warming, it's not a hard problem. Like if humanity is like, okay, let's fix it, it will be fixed. It will be fixed. And you're like, oh, money and no, nothing is there. It's just that we are not taking it seriously. And again, there is a very good example. One professor told me, it's like, look at Corona. Like when Corona happened, the pandemic happened, how quickly India got itself together. It's like, we need to do this. We got this. We sorted it out and everything was done. Everybody did their part. It's like, if you want to do it, 5 minutes, shut up, take money, done, go home, sweet dreams. We do not want to do it. So that's the whole point. IFT 5 in next month. What can we expect from that? Yeah, we hopefully, because again, he's reinforcing the heat tiles. We should see, and again, I'm not sure whether in the this IFT 5 he's gonna move the canards backwards to give it more of a chance of surviving. But again, most likely they are doing the seal reinforcement. So if that works out, canards are moved backwards, seals are reinforced, it should make a proper splash down. And be mindful, it did that splash down. It's just the camera was defective, so we did not get to see full glory. They should really put a camera with a, like, detachable guard lens, meaning in case like it something like that happens, they eat the, like, glass just before landing. Again, you do not want to eat before it, so again it gets contaminated again. It's like, okay, now the ship is doing the landing burn, it is what it is, you just detach the glass, at least for a few seconds you get clean view. So yeah, my refrigerator compressor is like, my UPS like kutik kutuk. So yeah, it's not working. I have to reinforce it. So we do should get to see some awesome stuff, hopefully. Although my hopes for landing is very low. That grabbing, most likely it will try to come, but I'm like, ish, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. Overall court is how is going. Yeah, it's frustrating. Like, that's the thing. That's my life's challenge right now. It's like, it is painful, it is out of my control, and I have to accept it, like truly accept it, like not have this, like truly accept, like it is out of my hand. I committed a sin, I'm suffering for it. It's as it is what it is. Like, I have to accept it truly. Let's see how things will. Again, I have to go again on 10th. Oh, and there is a slight probability I might have to go again very quickly after that. Such is life. Anyway, it's been 1 hour, so I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Oh, it was surprisingly high viewer count this time. So thank you for interesting questions, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. Bye.